All right, you guys, so I know I can't be the only one who was walking into Matrix 4 thinking, is this gonna be better than Revolutions, better than Reloaded? Because let's be real, they're not the Matrix, they're not the OG. I do like Reloaded, but Revolutions wasn't it, guys. I'm happy to report it is not the worst sequel to The Matrix, in my opinion. So guys, I can't wait to talk about The Matrix 4, y'all. What's going on? If you're new to the channel, my name is Leo Rydell, and here over at Geekly Goods, we do reactions, reviews, and more on the latest in movies, TV, a little sprinkle of anime in there for you as well. Guys, I am reviewing Matrix Resurrections, the fourth main installment in the franchise. If you count the Animatrix, it's 5 movies in total, or I guess you could even count them if you want to split them up, then there's more than that. But if you count them Animatrix as one whole package, we got 5 movies. So what is Matrix Resurrections about? The Matrix Resurrections follows the return to a world of 2 realities. One, everyday life. The other, what lies behind it. To find out if his reality is a construct, to truly know himself, Mr. Anderson will have to choose to follow the White Rabbit one more time. This is directed by Lana Wachowski and stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and plenty more. I mean, Jessica Henwick is in this, Jada Pinkett Smith is in it, Neil Patrick Harris, Jonathan Groff. We've got a really big cast here this time, and it's nice to see returning members, Jada Pinkett Smith, the boy himself, Neo, our boy, Keanu Reeves, and Carrie-Anne Moss, you guys. Great to have some originals back. I'm not entirely sure why Lawrence Fishburne is not back, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But guys, let's start out with the usual. What works with The Matrix 4, and I have to report this, and I'm very happy to do so. Visually, it's awesome. Like, the visual effects are absolutely 2021. There's flying. There's these cool, of course, you know, when Neo blocks bullets. I love this like wind push that he's got. I think it's really cool. Some of the action set pieces are really cool, but I want to get to those in a second because I think there's some editing problems with them, but the action sequences are dynamic, they're fun, they're cool to be in. When he gets to the kung fu sequence between Morbius that we see in the trailer, Morpheus, oh my god, I keep saying Morbius. Look, we had Mobius with Loki, we had Morbius with this new vampire movie, and we've got Morpheus with The Matrix, so I apologize if I make a mistake. Heading back to this review though, I really enjoyed the action set pieces, and I really like where they took the story of Neo and Trinity. I think that these characters were completely shafted in Revolutions, and that was my biggest problem with Revolutions is I'm like, we're spending way too much time on the Nebuchadnezzar without Neo and Trinity, and I just think that there's so much visually going on in Revolutions that it takes away from their story. Here, we really correct that problem and really bring Neo and Trinity back as the centerpieces of this movie. It's trippy. There's these moments in the movie where you really don't know if you're in the Matrix or not. So I really like going back into the Matrix and doing all these really head trippy things, tripping down the rabbit hole one more time, and also having some really trippy, heady themes like the Matrix usually does. Really this big questioning of, are we programmed to do something that we've been programmed to do throughout our lives, or do we have free will to make decisions? Very cool exploration. Really enjoyed those strengths about it. I also like Jessica Henwick's character, liked bringing her into the fray. I really like some of the other characters. I like Jada being back. Not sure I love what they did with her character, but I like her being back. But let's get back to some of the issues I have with The Matrix 4 and what prevents it from being a better sequel than Reloaded, in my opinion. I might be in the minority here, but there are some really clunky things going on with the movie. First and foremost, I do want to get back to those action set pieces that I was speaking of because, like I said, Neo's push technique and all these other really cool visual styles are really awesome throughout the movie, and it's shot well, looks well. I like how it looks. The problem I have is the editing. Man, during those action set pieces, y'all remember Reloaded when there was all these amazing hand-to-hand combat set pieces where it was just no cuts, like straight up steady cam, ready to go. Not steady cam, but it was on a tripod, still ready to go, still shot, boom, let the kung fu happen. Here, there's all these cuts and edits, and it just takes away from the gravitas of the cool kung fu that comes from the first 3 movies. Unfortunately, it's just edited really bad. I don't think it's even choreographed that bad. I just think the editing is so haphazard, and it's It's the Matrix. I don't have a problem in a Marvel movie or some random action movie, but I have an issue if it's the Matrix, because the Matrix was all about kung fu and displaying Neo's mastery in the martial art, and that takes away from so much here. Unfortunately, I also don't like what they did with some of the legacy characters. To be honest, I really don't like what they did with Morpheus in this movie. I'm gonna be real, I don't like some of the decisions they made with Morpheus. That's all I'm gonna leave it, because I don't want to spoil, but he's not the Lawrence Fishburne Morpheus that much. Gosh, there I am, about to call him Morbius, y'all. He's not the Lawrence Fishburne Morpheus, so they make some changes that I'm not really into. And also, with Agent Smith, man, look, I like Groff, and I think he's a great actor, but this was actually spoiled in a trailer, so we've seen this before. Groff is kind of like the new Agent Smith in a way, and I just don't really like what they did with that character either. Oh man, and there's just a litany of pacing problems here. Unfortunately, the second act, there's just so much going on. So much going on. Like, I think that the first act story of kind of questioning what's going on with Neo, I wanted to explore that more. Also, another thing I did like, I like Neil Patrick Harris, but I maybe didn't like his character's twist, if you will, that much without a lot of build-up. So unfortunately, I thought he got a little shortchanged as well. There are just a lot of problems in this movie, but there are also some real cool connective tissues from the previous installment. Sati is played by Priyanka Chopra, and I think she does a pretty good job, actually. Better than the other things I've seen her in. So I liked bringing that character back. I love some of the connections from the rest of the franchise, but man, some of that story gets real clunky and overloaded in the second act, and I think it starts as this real cool, tight, curiosity-invoking story, and then it just breaks into something a little bit messier. That's all I'm gonna leave it, because I don't want to spoil too much for you guys. It was very heady, trippy, but hey, I thought it was enjoyable. I did like the action, and I really like what they did with Neo and Trinity here. But man, that second act, unfortunately, some poor character choices, and unfortunately, those fight scenes, those great long take fight scenes that we love and cherish from The Matrix so much, are cut haphazardly, and it just takes away from the experience, you guys. I really love that first Matrix. It's one of the first action rated R movies that I've ever seen, but man, I don't think it really needed sequels too much. If I had to give a rating to Matrix Resurrections, guys, right now where it stands, I'm sitting at a 6.5. I really wanted to give this like a 7 and 8, but the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, man, I don't know. But I have stated on my Twitter, and I'm gonna state this again on my YouTube channel, I need to see it one more time. I feel like I'm kind of on the edge, and the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, the more I don't like it. But I feel like if I get one more viewing, I think I'm going to be in that enjoyable category at least, and give it a 7, maybe edge it over to a 7, or maybe I'll bop it down to a 6. Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. Hey, I enjoyed it, didn't love it though. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and we will see you next time on Geekly Goods.